Welcome to Digital Asset News. I get top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets, break it down in bite-sized pieces. So first of all, before we start, let's make sure the audio is good and the video is good. Things get choppy, especially with different places that I'm at. So today we are in Houston. Sounds like it's pretty good. Looks like it's pretty good. Today we're in Houston, one of the rental properties, and we're going to do some other stuff for the weekend to do more demo and things like that for another rental property. And then we'll be back to El Paso and then Puerto Rico eventually. But that is neither here nor there. What we really want to talk about today is the market itself and what's happened and what is going on. So it's one of those days. That's what I can tell you. And it's one of those things where when you wake up and you look at your portfolio, it's kind of concerning when you take a look and you go, wow, what the heck just happened? We were up so big, and then all of a sudden, you lose 20%, 30%, and recently 50%. And that's one of those things where you're like, wow, this is the real deal. So we're going to talk today about what's going on, why things are happening, and the mentality. Because really, if you investing in things that you get into, it doesn't matter how technical you are, how smart you are, how savvy you are. It really doesn't matter. Really what it comes down to is grit, determination, and the mental outlook that you can have. Because it doesn't matter all the rest of the things. It really just comes down to, can you stomach this volatility and can you get through it? I'm going to tell you why, or what I'm doing and why these things are normal. So there's gonna be a lot of things we're going to talk about, and some of these things are not going to be very pleasant, especially for the things I'm about to say, as far as like the moon boys and everybody always so optimistic, and the term FUD, which is what I really want to get into. So we'll talk about that in a second. All right, let me make sure that we're good. Let me bring up the chat. 100 Bitcoin used for a heart attack. That's right. Can I get a good morning? Good morning, Nick. Good morning. Greetings from sunny Australia. SZ, good day. 150,000 coming 2031. No, 150,000 is coming this year. True, it is. It's just going to take some time. Never going on 30K. That's the thing. Who knows? Who really knows, right? It's all guesswork, really, if you think about it. All the technicals and all the different people can draw on graphs all day long. But what it really comes down to is it's just a very educated guess. And some people are much better at this than others. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, let's get into it. Let me go here. Come back here. So let me pull this up. So the thing I want to talk to you about real quick is actually, let's start here. Let's see just how it is, what the market is doing. So right now, during that 50% dip, we were at 1.34 trillion. Now, then we went to 1.74 trillion, and it looks like we were on our way to a little bit of recovery. And now here we are, 1.59 trillion, and I'm relatively sure we're going to go down even farther. So Bitcoin in 24 hours is down 6%. I think it's more than that. Ethereum 4, everything's in a red. Let's just say what it is. Although, a little bit of a recovery. Bitcoin to 37, Ethereum up a little bit. Because as things start to go lower, people, they tend to look at these things and go, you know what? I think that this is a good idea to buy. And they'll buy a little bit, but then there'll be so much selling pressure that it'll just go lower. And some people will pick it up, and some people pick it up. That's the whole process of dollar cost averaging and getting in. But I believe it's going to go even lower. And everybody that I've seen, the guys over there at Market Rebellion, CJ and Monty, and a lot of other places have talked about how if we break below If we can hit 40, things should be pretty good. Not going to do that. If we go below 35, it's looking pretty a little bad. And then if we break below 32, expect the floor to drop out. And that's what I kind of see right happening. I think the floor could drop out. But again, who really knows? The big thing you have to ask yourself is, does it really matter in the long run? Because this is what I want to show you. This is the real thing I want to show you. I want you to zoom out, really zoom out, because the problem in this market is everybody zooms in on today and they really just look into it and they're like, well, that's it. You know, life is over. This is awful. But really just take a real big step back. And I want to take a look at the last Bitcoin run that we had, or actually 2 cycles ago. This is in 2013. And this is from CoinGecko. CoinGecko can only go back so far, but we're going to go back even farther. And what we're looking at here is, I want you to remember something. And that is, actually, let me go forward a little bit. This is the last bull run in 2017. And what I want you to notice something is this. Here's the price all the way back in March. You're at $411 for Bitcoin. And of course, the entire market kind of follows Bitcoin. Keeps going up a little bit. And what I want you to notice is the price. 459, 450, 500, 734, then a little dip. And I mean a little dip. And we're talking about, like, you know, 10%, 20%. 585, 570, 572. And it was pretty stable. 606, 594, a little bit down. 638, and pretty much going up. And then $1,000 and a drop down to 900. So you're looking at a 10% drop. Okay. Then 800. All right, 20%. Okay. And then we keep going up, 1190, and then we drop down again, and then we come up here, and then we see these drops from, gosh, 20, almost 3,000 down to whatever it was, 1,000. And it wasn't that, you still had drops like 30%. 35%, somewhere around there, right? But it was at a very prolonged time frame. We're talking about months. This bull run, we've seen drops of like 50% in 2 or 3 days. So I don't really feel like this bull run is what it was like in 2017. I kind of compare it to this bull run here, where there was a massive amount of volatility. And the thing with volatility is that once you're all over the place, there is tremendous downside, but there's also tremendous upside. And the people that get to the upside are only the people that can stomach the volatility and really hang in there. And if you can't hang in there, I mean, you can't hang in, can't hang in there. That's just one of those problems. And I'm going to talk to especially new people who are just getting in or have just gotten in the last 6 months to 8 months. This is important for you. So anyhow, so if we take a look back in May, this is in 2013. Look at 135. This is Bitcoin 135, right? And then it was at 141. But you have to remember, Bitcoin is like at $10 in the beginning of 2013. Actually, let me just go forward. Here is 99 Bitcoins, and it goes back all the way back, and we'll show you all the information that you want to know as far as Bitcoin. Look at this. This is in 2012, May, June, July, October, November. Looking at $13. They're $14 at the very beginning of the year. And look at this huge run up, which is kind of like what we had before. And I'll skip back here so you can actually see it. Huge run up from $13 to $141. That is a massive amount in a very short amount of time. But look at these enormous swings, right? You're going all the way down here, $90, and you kind of come up, and then you take a big drop here. Then you go up a little bit and drop. Go up a little bit and drop. Really drop. $67. That's like 50% from what you have over here. Gosh, it's even more. 141, 60%, something like that. But these huge volatility, it leads its way to big upswings. And then you can just take a look here about what happened in 2013. $10, $13, $14, kind of like in these little, and we have to zoom in a little bit to see this. Now look what happened. $1,000 from $10. And that's why the first big bull run, no one said it would actually come about again. It's like, that's ridiculous. And do I think that Bitcoin will reach $500,000 or 350. No, I don't think so. That's a lot of money to come in a very short amount of time. But I think that Bitcoin will go up. I think it'll go up to around 130 to 150,000. And I think that the alts are the ones that are going to be the big ones that are going to go. But here's the thing. This is one of the problems that I see right now. Let me explain. So we had a video yesterday, and what we did was we talked about, first of all, it was just the basic news, and then I just kind of gave you my opinion about what the market's going to happen. I said it was going to go sideways for a little bit, then it was going to dump, then it was going to go sideways for a long time. That was just my opinion based on what I've seen. And when I made that, when I talked about that, all I heard on the comments was, why are you spreading so much FUD? Why are you spreading FUD? Why are you spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt? And why do you do these things? Why can't you just tell us that everything's going to be great and okay and put us to bed with a warm glass of milk? Why can't you do that? Because that is a lie. That's what it comes down to. That is a lie. And if you want me to do that, well, it's not going to happen. It's just how it is. Now, there's a ton of channels out there where everything's going to explode tomorrow and everything's going to be fantastic and awesome and it's going to be great. And they don't really delve into the nitty gritty of there's some downsides to this. And I said that's what it is. Now, in this video, we talked about how PayPal was a game changer, which was, they're going to allow people to take their crypto and put it into third-party wallets. But I even talked about that. That's going to be a slow rollout. I mean, just like how PayPal rolled things out. So when I see this term, this FUD, stop spreading FUD, stop spreading FUD, stop spreading FUD, become a realist, really is what it comes down to. Becomes a realist. You have to have the rainy days to enjoy the sunshine, right? Have you ever... It just kind of goes without saying, but it has to be said, unfortunately, which is this: you have to have a little bit of pain to get to the pleasure. And if you can't do that, then life is going to be very difficult. And when I talk about these things and I say, hey, these are the different parts that we have to be aware of, it is what it is. And I have to be honest, and I have to say that these are the downswings. So please stop saying, in the comments, stop spreading FUD. Now, if I'm going to come out and say, you know what, I think that the Biden administration is going to ban all cryptocurrency because I saw it on a Reddit post by a guy named Spanky Moon, that is blatantly obvious that it is FUD, right? Because, I mean, that just seems ridiculous. So, but if I'm going to sit here and be like honest and say, look, we're going to see some massive volatility. It's going to go sideways. It's going to dump. And just be ready. It prepares people for inevitably what happens. And I think the problem is that as new people come in, they only want to hear the very good things. And there's a lot of YouTube channels that will tell you only the good stuff. And it'll tell you that everything's going to blow up tomorrow. And that's fine. And I think those channels actually are needed because it kind of brings people in. I think more of the channels that focus on just a little bit more of the reality of the situation, I think those are the ones that, first of all, don't get a lot of clicks because they don't clickbait everybody as much as they should, and or much as they should, as much as everybody else does, and it just goes without saying. So, look, it is what it is. If you want reality, come here for every so often. Go over to Alex Mascioli. Take a look at the links in the description. All those guys down there, they really don't, live on hopium 24/7, 365. And that's really what it comes down to. So that's the big thing. That's all. And then on top of that, I want you to understand something else. And that is that leverage trading and things like that, I trade a little bit. But I'm mostly just a very boring investor, dollar cost average. And I do that, first of all, because it's simple. And I got a lot of other things going on. I don't have time to look at the charts and blah, blah. And let me tell you something else. Everybody is a genius. They are a genius during the bull run, right? They're like, oh, I picked this winner. Wow, great. Or I I picked this one that went up 10x. Fantastic. Do that in a bear market. That's the thing. And I think the simplest rules really do win. The simplest types of things win. And the reason why people can pull you into their ecosphere and say, well, you need this, you need that, is because they make things more complex than what they need to be. And that suckers you in to where you got to do this type of thing. So like, I believe in the most basic of basic things. Dollar cost averaging. I believe that news moves the market. That's why I'm always talking about trade the chain, because they make it, here, look at this. Look at this. They make it brain dead easy, right? You're not looking at a ton of stuff. I mean, it's good to know more information. Don't get me wrong, right? But I just click on this projected range and go, okay, because of the news, because of the sentiment, I'm looking at cover protocol, fell in that where Peppercoin BD. These are the ones that are going to go up with 90% assurance. That's all I got to do. It's so simple. On top of that, if we're talking about simplicity and things like that, if I just want to invest in dollar cost average, that's great. Here's another thing. The people that make the most amount of money are the ones that make it the most complex. And it's like, you need me because you can't do this without me. That's BS. People are smart. Let me rephrase that. Individual people are smart. Groups of people are dumb. And they get into this like bad group thing. And here's a prime example. So this is Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. Nothing against that guy. He makes a lot of money. I heard he's a very nice guy, actually. Yeah, as opposed to his persona on Shark Tank. But Kevin's got a good formula here. And I'm not going to play this because I don't want to get copyrighted, but I will link it in the description. Actually, just go over to TD Ameritrade Network at TDA Network. It's on their Twitter feed. And what he talks about here, he's given this interview, and he's saying, first of all, he's been back and forth on Bitcoin. I'm glad he's here. Fantastic. But what he talks about in this interview is he makes things complex, and he starts to talk about words about DeFi. He's like, the thing with DeFi is that it makes things, if you can handle the volatility, and you can get yield, you can make a lot of money. And you can make a lot of money doing these things in DeFi. And DeFi and yield makes you a great amount of investment, and you can do a lot of great things. So with DeFi, that's what you need to do. And people watching this who are not in here are like, what the hell are you talking about? And what he does at the very end is very slick. He goes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this very simple for you. I'm going to put together my own app and make it very easy for people to make and really do well in this industry with DeFi and yield and liquidity providing and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, that sounds good. Makes things complex to bring people in. That's how it works. Make sense? So when you're out there and you're looking at things, you're like, wow, things are just so crazy, and what should I do? And then you see people are like, well, if you need this, you need that, blah, blah, blah. This is not a popular opinion, and this is why my channel, I guess, is the way it is, because I just don't get it. Like, it's a very simple thing. And which leads me to one of my last points, and then we'll get out of here. This is why I'm calm. Why I'm calm is because of this. And if you've ever seen this meme, it's the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I think the movie is. And that's James Franco. And when I first got in, this meme was around in 2017. But there was a year right here on Franco's head that said 2013 investors, and then over here 2013 investors, and then right here, this guy who's crying, it had 2017 investors, and I thought I'm like, I don't get it. It's not that funny to me. Now I think it's funny because lately it's been 2017 investors, 2013 investors, 2021 investors, and the reason why I'm so calm is because I realized that time in the market is better than timing the market. I learned that from my man, Wen Mullet. And it makes sense because the reason why a lot of the people on YouTube that you see who are not freaking the F out is because they've had so much time in the market. I mean, this channel is only a little bit over a year old, but I've been dollar cost averaging since 2017. You have to understand that. So when people, they get kind of down themselves like, damn it, why can't I make as much money as X? Or why am I not so calm because I just lost 50% of my portfolio because of Y? It's because people like me and people throughout the whole YouTube verse are not new to this game. And for us to really lose our shirts, it would have to go down tremendously. Like for me, average cost of Bitcoin would probably be around $6,000. That's the truth. And it's something that people don't really talk about. It's because, and I talk about these things, but people just don't hear me. So I need you to hear me and understand what I'm talking about. I always tell these 4-year cycles, right? If you were back here, 2010 investing, you have no problems whatsoever, unless you invest in something crazy, like a lot of those coins that are out there. But a lot of the times, if you spread things around dollar cost average, you do pretty well. Here's another 4-year cycle, 2016 and 2019, and I talk about this all the time. But here's the, let me go back. Here's where all the money is made, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. It's all made right here when things are flat and boring as hell. That's really what it comes down to. And that's where I accumulated a ton of it. And that's where a lot of people have done things. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that have made a boatload of money in trading. I think some have. I think actually, you know, some have, and they talk about it all day long. But to me, it's kind of like, I personally believe that a lot of these people who are talking about how great their traders are, they're also investors. You have to understand that too. And I don't think they say that enough, but that's just my personal opinion. And I know, like even the guys at Market Rebellion, even CJ and Monty, I know those guys are investors. We talk about it all the time. And those guys are also fantastic traders. It's one of the few people that I actually listened to, because when I first got into it, I called TA astrology. I didn't believe any of them. I thought they're all a bunch of just filthy liars. But CJ and Monty are the few ones, and some of the people on YouTube I actually have respect for, because they actually make a lot of sense, and they're right. But again, just because the trading's out there doesn't mean that's the only way. And I think it's very few people make a lot of money, especially leverage traders. And I know people talk about, oh, you know what? I just made a ton of money on this leverage trade. Oh yeah, well, how'd the other two leverage trades do? Oh, I lost my shirt, but this one doing great. And it's just like when I lived in Vegas for a couple of years. I was like, Pete, how things going? Oh man, I crushed it last night in the tournament. Oh yeah, did you make out? Yeah, I made like $5,000. Are you up for the year? Oh no, I'm down like 30,000. But shoo, last night I crushed it. And that's all you really think about. And that's all you really hear about. So again, people on the YouTube and the Twitter, just make sure that if they're talking about how great they've done, just ask them, how long you been in this game? How long you been doing this? And then where do you make your money mostly? Is it investments? Is it endorsements? What else is going on? You have to understand that's really the whole thing. So don't get down on yourself because you're like, I didn't make as much money as these other guys. They've been in it for a long time. They've been in it for a long time. So if you're new to this game, if you're new to crypto and digital assets, I need you to understand that time in the market is better than timing. And if you're worried about it right now, because I still think it's a pretty good time. I still think in 2021, we're seeing these massive dips. I don't know what's going to happen, but I truly believe that there is too much momentum on certain sides of institutions. I do believe that there's still massive manipulation and whales moving the market because they can get their friends back in, because they can buy up at a low, and they want to shake people out. I don't really care about that, because the same thing that I've been doing over the last 4 years, the same thing I did this morning. You know what my buy orders were? It was $100 of Voyager, it was $100 of Cardano, it was $100 of Bitcoin, and it was hey, geez. No, it wasn't 100. It was 50, I think. 25 or 50. And then it was 25 of Ethereum. It's the same thing every day. And it sounds boring and it sounds trite and nobody really cares because like, well, that's not sexy. Well, you know what's sexy? The portfolio that you get at the very end. That's what's sexy. So again, if you're worried about like, shoot, I missed these big opportunities, you can look at it that way. You can go invest, do what you want. This is financial opinion, not financial advice. And you can do all the things that you want to do. But if you're worried about like, I need to get rich this year, I don't think that's the right mentality. I think it is, and I had that mentality in 2017. I was like, I'm going all in. I'm going all in, and I'm going big. And I went in all in right around here, like I always talk about. I thought I was going to be rich because I'm like, well, this technology will definitely make it. It only makes sense to me, right? We can unbank ourselves. We can get away from that financial infrastructure that we've been slaves to. And Bitcoin is going to 1 million, just like John McAfee said. So I don't see what the problem is. And it still holds true. The technology is good. The process is good. The only thing you have to worry about is timing. Is time. I can tell you that things are going to go up very far. The market's going to do very well. I just can't tell you when that time exactly is. But if we just zoom out and see what has been happening over the last years, 2013 when Bitcoin was $5 and $14 and there wasn't even a market, to the next one when we jumped up all the way to 20,000 Bitcoin, we had, gosh, Ethereum was $1,400 and everybody was losing their mind. XRP was like $3.48, something like that. Those are the top three. And then, you know, now even this year, where we're at, and we're down pretty. I mean, we're not down for the year. I mean, we've hit all-time highs, but we're just down a lot from what we were at before. But it still rebounds. So the next piece of the puzzle is, if you don't like what you see right now, just wait. I mean, I take a look at the stock market. I don't understand the whole thing about that. I mean, you'll have stocks that kind of bounce around in that same level for a long time, for like, you know, 6 years, 7 years, and you don't really make too much. Or then you just, you know, it takes a dump. For here in the markets, I mean, we've only gone, I mean, we're still very early, I think, and that's why I still believe in it. And again, if you don't like the timing and everything else, just hang for a bit, because there's another massive bull run coming right around the corner. And again, this is the time when this is the time when I make a ton of money. And if you're a trader, a leverage trader, great, have fun. But for me, I was excited when I feel like this is going to be, you know, a dump, and we're going to trade sideways for a while, because guess what I'll be doing? The exact same thing I've done before, and it's done me pretty well, and that's about it. All right, so that was a lot, huh? Hopefully that made sense, and it wasn't too bad. But I will finish up with this. This is why I'm calm. I'm calm because I know I take Diddy's advice. I just kind of zoom out, and I just look at what's going on and just say, well, it doesn't really, because if I just keep the same game plan, it's almost impossible to lose for me, because I know that I'm just going to do the same things, repetitive. There are massive opportunities in just the basics, and that's what I do. So I know people make it complex. I just don't understand why they do that. And that's that. So hopefully that answered some questions. Let's get in the chats and see how the heat goes. All right. So yeah, I was a little bit tough on the Beav. I know. Pretty tough on the Beaver last night. Yeah, but I'm getting really tired of people making things so damn complex and not being honest with everybody. And that's the thing that gets me, because I need you guys to be around for a while. I need you guys to be around this market for a while, because there's big opportunities. And I saw it in 2017 when I got all my friends in. I couldn't articulate the things that were going on, and I didn't understand the whole dumping pattern and the 4-year cycles. And they all left. They all left except for my friend George. And I told him, I'm just going to dollar cost average. If you keep doing, I think, you know, it'll work itself out. Like, whatever, Rob, we're out of here. And now me and George are doing pretty good, honestly. But the other ones are like, should I get in now? I'm like, you kind of missed the opportunity. I mean, you can get into some other lower caps. I mean, the worst time is no time, but you have to understand it's going to take some time. That's it. Bigodella Russell says, bull run over. No, like I said before, I surely believe that there's whales and market manipulators. And there's just so many people getting into this space. I mean, look, even Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary's even here. And I mean, Tom Brady, for Pete's sakes, is talking about it. And there's a lot of people coming in. I just think that this this market is so tumultuous because people are so scared of different things that are going on. Like, oh, I don't know. And it just, like, anything shakes them. It ticks me off. It ticks me off because I'm not doing my job to explain to people why this shouldn't be a big deal, and just to hold for a while and you'll be okay. And that's it. And then also, I'm trying to get rid of these moon boys who are like, it's going to go up forever. It's going to head tomorrow. I'm like, Jesus, just give a little dose of reality every so often. That's all I can say. Hold on, real quick. Okay, I'm back. That's it. So crypto mania is over. Carlos, it depends on how you say it. Is crypto mania over for today? I guess it's how you see it. Like me personally, I think crypto has an incredibly bright future. Do you not think that even in the DeFi space, that we're not going to need some type of decentralized finance or some digital ID or some telecommunications that we can do in different countries that are underserved and underbanked? Are you out of your mind? That's why I'm so big into Cardano, because they are going into those areas. Speaking of which, I've already interviewed 3 of the Cardano ecosystems that are being built on Cardano, and I will be putting those out this week. So no, Shiba Inu. And look, Jesus, Christmas. Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, I'm just going to tell you right now, I love the community and the passion. The project is junk. And I just don't, I mean, if you want to invest into it, that's great. But look at the fundamentals, look at the team behind it, look at the utility, and go from there. I'm tired of talking about that. And I don't care if you say like, oh, it's going to the moon or whatever else. It might. I think it's just bad overall for the entire market. And there, I said it. What are you going to do? All right. Carlos Mendoza, sorry, Bitcoin will have a weak summer. Yes, I believe that for a while, we're going to trade sideways, just like I talked about. Sniff, hey, sir, are you traveling east? Gosh, where am I? I'm in Houston. Now I'm traveling west, and then I travel way far east. That'll be later. Bear summer, right here. Yeah, Nick. Hey, Nick. It's early today. Yes, it is early today. I need to get things done because we need to do some things here on this investment on one of our houses and get over to our new investment property because we're doing demo today. So have to do that. P. Penna says, thoughts on the Giro wallet. If you don't know what I think it's Giro or Euro. That's the one for the Cardano ecosystem, correct? One with the stag. If you're looking at teams, that is the most stacked team I've ever seen in my life. And I'd love to interview those guys. And I think that's going to be huge. So look at that one. Again, fundamentals. Does it do something? What are the team? How good are they? What's actually happening? What's your top 3 coins? Not Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. I'll tell you that right now. What are my top 3? Let's see. Tomato coin. Just kidding. It's first, it depends on your goals. Your goals are not my goals. If you want stability and if you want the safest bet out of all the cryptos, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Even though people say, there's gas fees and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. People don't even understand gas fees. People who are outside, like Kevin O'Leary, they understand it, but don't understand it. They're just there to make money. So if you're talking about the longevity, people just hear Ethereum, World Computer, DeFi. That's all they know. So they'll probably buy a bunch of Ethereum. That's it. Who will win in the end? I don't care. I don't care if it's Cardano or if it's Ethereum. That's why I hold both. And I think that Cardano versus Ethereum is kind of like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs back in the 80s and 90s. And that's good for the market because when you have that type of friction, that's what makes things pop off because it'll push you to greater heights, just like in sports. And that's it. All right, everybody. That was it. So just as a recap, here's what I talked about. Rapid fire as best I can. And get rid of this chat. Okay. There are points that we're supposed to hit and I think we're falling through those. So if it falls down or if it goes flat, it doesn't really matter so much to me, but it's going to matter to a lot of people, and that's what concerns me. So look at these levels. This is what I get from the guys at Market Rebellion, CJ and Monty. 40, we need to hit 40 and go above that. I don't think it's going to happen over the weekend because we're going to have low volume because there is a Memorial. It's Memorial Day weekend for the United States. Those are for all the fallen, people who have defended this great country and have fallen in wars. And you are remembered. Thank you to all my veterans out there who fell. Not Veterans Day, Memorial Day, a little bit different. And there's going to be low volume. So we're not going to see too much. If anything, we see sideways, if anything. And I don't think we're going to go up. I don't see how that could possibly happen unless, who knows, Apple comes out and it's like, hey, we're buying everything in Bitcoin. That's not happening. So look for that. And I talked about how it doesn't, I feel like this is more like 2013 because we saw massive, massive dumps in 2013 because it was extreme volatility. But because that extreme volatility went up massively, as opposed to like 2017, which was pretty much a straight shot with 20-30% or so. But in 2014 or 2013, we saw like dips of like 50%. That's just one of those things. Also, I talked about let's stop using the thing FUD and just get real and realize that there are some lows with some highs. So if I'm going to talk about the problems that are in the market, just realize that there's a problem in the market. I'm not just getting this from some Reddit post from nobody. Janitor Steve from Duluth, who says that, Joe Biden's going to destroy all Bitcoin. We have to understand that the market does go down. And if you want to find it's going to explode, it's going to go forever. There's tons of channels like that. And that's why they get all the clicks because they have nothing but clickbait. And they keep doing all these stupid videos that just talk about how great it is. And there's a market for that. Not saying that they're wrong, just saying that, hey, if you want to do those types of things, find those all day long. But just realize that when days like this come, set in some reality. That's about it. And I talk about Kevin O'Leary and how people make things a little bit more complex than what they need to be. And good for him. That's all I'm going to say. And then just remember that when in doubt, zoom out, like my man Diddy says. Yeah, we have some bad days ahead of us. Maybe some sideways action, but again, this is, first of all, if you have been dollar cost averaging or getting in at the right points, maybe this isn't the time for you. Sorry, tough love. That's what it is. And I wish someone would have told me that in 2017. Like, hey, you know what? You can't get rich overnight. It's rare. It can happen. You can buy a lottery ticket. You can get in a Dogecoin at the exact right time, but is that going to be reproducible for millions of people? No, it is not. So I wish someone would have said, look, in 2017, once this bull run hits, the John McAfee's of $1 million Bitcoin could have gone away. I'm glad he's out of this space. And, just realize that, hey, you have to put the work in. So everybody thinks that it's super easy to, just be a millionaire in cryptocurrency. Oh, that's so easy. It's not easy. Like today's like today. This is where the hard part comes in. This is where you have to really mentally focus. And the very beginning, it's like I said, it doesn't matter the technicals or how savvy or how smart you are. It does not matter. You have to have the right mental state as an investor and move forward. Because if you don't, and you just say, I'm out, because of this or that, then you didn't get it. You didn't get it, and I didn't do my job. I'm sorry. And just remember that money's really made for me when it's boring. And if you're a trader, great. I trade a little bit myself. I'm just not going to do 50 and 100x leverage trading. I think that's just insane. And that's all. So if you're not going to make it to be a multi-billionaire in this cycle, don't worry. Just just look at the opportunities that are out there. There's tons of them out there, and just pick your spots, and that's all. All right, so that's it for today. I got to get out of here, but thanks for watching. If you liked the video and found some use of it, and give you a reality check, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and that's all for today. Remember, the people that are out there that are talking to you, they've been in this game a heck of a lot longer, probably than most of you. So that's why people like me are so calm, because we've been investing for a long time. So don't beat yourself up if you're like, why can't I be stronger? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? It's because with time in, you can do anything. And like I said, like my price points, like if Bitcoin went to below 6,000, I'd probably start worrying, because that's my price point. Bitcoin 6,000, Ethereum $130, XRP, I bought pretty high on that one. Cardano 10 cents, you know, 8 cents, something like that. So just remember, we've been in here for a long time, and don't let people fool you. They just don't tell you that. They're going to tell you something different. That's it. All right. Have a good one. Appreciate it. Everybody calm down.